Call the February 19th regular village council meeting to order. Show that trustees Harper, Cavendish, Eggert, Dean, Cook are here, and trustee Rule is joining us by Zoom. Also show that the manager, the clerk, and the treasurer are present. Under the approval of the agenda, we do have one thing to add. Another thing to vote on tonight is the Mason Engineering Service for Warren Street water main placement. So can I get a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Under the consent agenda, do we have anything that we want to take out and talk about, or if not, a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're at our first public comment. This is not a question and answer, just a comment session. You'll have 5 minutes. Anybody have anything? Resume that. Seeing none.
Jay Weber.
Jay Weber?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is John Weber. I live on South Shore Drive here in Northport. I have a couple things that just want to bring to the attention the community, and then ask for the council to comment on tonight if they can. First off, I just learned of the public hearing notice on March 11th today. Today I just learned of it, and so doing some reading on it. I want to make sure that the community, the people that are on this meeting tonight, are aware that there is a public hearing on March 11th. It's on the calendar. It's just listed as a regular planning commission meeting, not as a public hearing. And this hearing is to address some rezoning within the village. It's 13 parcels, 9 owners, and over 100 acres. They're being redone. I'm not going to comment either way on it because I have an opinion. I just want to make sure that our community is aware of it, because I don't think it's clearly reflected on the website. So there it is under the special notices, but it's not on the calendar. It makes it look like just a regular meeting on the 11th. So if that could be adjusted, that'd be great. Second item I want to comment on is I would appreciate the village council or infrastructure providing the community with an update on the dam and what's going on with that. As we all know, it's a highly contentious issue. There are arguments on both sides of keeping, removing. Chris Holton in his report tonight had mentioned that they have a permit and they're going to move forward with it. So if someone could provide the community with an update on what the plans are, what's going on with that, it would be greatly appreciated. If not, then I'll try to get that information at the next infrastructure meeting. And I'll throw this out. It's not a big issue, but it's something that hopefully the village council can at least consider. Over the summertime, when we have the influx of short-term rentals, visitors, seasonal guests, our recycling area gets overwhelmed. The containers that we have there are filled days before they actually get pulled. And so in the coming months, I asked that the village at least consider options on what can be done to address that. There's some individuals think that it's just a junkyard and they dump chairs and all sorts of whatnot. And in the summer months, when we have recycling going on there, there's overflow, there's critters, there's all sorts of stuff. So I don't know if that means we get additional containers, we get additional poles. Obviously, some changes to that program would require or would include additional costs. But I'm just throwing it out there, asking that the village council discuss it and see if there's anything that they can come up with. And that's all I have for right now.
Thank you, John. Is there anybody else on Zoom? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Correspondence, there were a couple things in the Dropbox, correspondence.
Hey, pardon me, Hugh. I will say for the record, the audio seems a lot better this meeting than it was before. So whoever fixed that, thanks.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, we have correspondence from Dave Brigham and Mary Tonnenberger. Ex officios reports. Planning Commission.
Yeah, so the first thing I wanted to remind everybody, I think people are aware, but Kathy Wessel is leaving us and leaving the commission. Her term is up in April. And I don't know, last I knew there was no one that had applied yet. So we definitely are looking for interested people to apply. I think you do have to be a village resident though, because we already have our 2 non-village. Anyway, so that is something that we're looking for, that spread the word. At our meeting, we worked on discussing master plan and like next steps. We're working on our drafts, but we're looking to potentially have see about hiring a consultant to review once it's all done, to ensure, which is something we had talked about a long time ago at planning when we started this process, but having a consultant review to be sure there's no legalities or issues or things that are happening that got changed that we should reconsider. We were looking at revised CIP that staff has been working on and getting ready so that that's closer to having for budget. The public participation survey we're working on revising, and then discussed a lot the zoning revisions that we're looking at going forward, not the ones that are in the public hearing, but ones that we're looking at that are along the shoreline and things like that that have been discussed several meetings. That question about the public hearing, it is a regular meeting and our public hearing is in the regular meeting. And I believe that that's in the paper or will be, and
the public notice was in last week's Enterprise, but on the website, Facebook,
and then
So-
people that are affected get it directly.
and there were mailings.
Yeah. So that is happening. You're correct, on March 11th. I think that's it.
Can you easily, for the public and for me, summarize what that zoning change is about? Then he said 13 parcels, 9 owners.
So there's
100 acres.
rezoning. Jared, do you want to take it just because you
Sure.
have written the report on it and everything?
Okay.
I can, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, why don't I'll describe it. If I leave
Yes.
anything out,
go for it.
let me know.
Yes.
So the map amendments proposed, there's a section of D1, which is multi-use.
Mhm.
I think it's worth noting that's the only zoning district where certain uses are allowed, including formula businesses. Okay. And there's a section off of Kitchen Road
Mhm.
that really doesn't make sense as D1.
Mhm.
It's the Stowe Farm,
Right, okay,
if you're familiar with
yes,
that.
okay,
That's proposed to go to R1, rural residential,
okay,
which is a low density residential. Makes more sense in that area.
right,
So the
got it,
planning commission has approached that.
Okay.
Just south on Kitchen Road, Tim Overgear has proposed doing a housing project on half of his 10 acres on his property. And he would like to have residential zoning that would allow for that.
cause he's in R1 now.
He's in D1,
He's
Oh,
in
he's in
D1.
so that would go from D1
Okay,
to R4,
okay,
which would allow for the
Okay,
project that
And
he's
he's
doing.
been very involved in that conversation,
Yes,
like
yes.
it's been several.
Okay.
Would that be a PUD?
Most likely, yes, that's what I've encouraged them to look at.
Still,
Half of it would be D1 and half of it would be R4, and then you do a PUD over the whole thing.
By the way, Kitchen runs north-south.
Right.
You said south of Kitchen.
But he meant
South
south
on.
on road.
So, okay,
On Kitchen.
Got it.
Yes, thank you. Tim, south of, yeah.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Then there's kind of an enclave of yellow. I'm looking at the map over there on Mill Street in that purple area. There's a little enclave of yellow
Mhm.
and it splits parcels so that half of the parcel's residential and half of it's D1.
Okay,
So it makes
The
more
parcels
sense.
extend
right,
much
right,
further back.
okay, got it.
So it would make more sense to
Right.
have the entire parcel as a singular zoning district in D1. In that corridor, makes sense, and that's where the planning commission has been discussing. And then the other map amendment would be out by the boatyard storage area, which is at the end and to the north and west of Police Roads.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
End
yep.
there.
Mhm.
It's multi-use, but it has no utilities, no road access, and it's wetland. So I think the planning commission's thought with that is it makes a lot more sense as a conservation recreation zoning district,
Mhm, mhm.
currently vacant.
Right, okay,
Those are the map amendments, and so that's where John mentioned 100 acres and 13 parcels. All those parcels would be
Got it.
affected, but for different
got it.
changes.
Okay.
It's all come about as a result of our looking at the D1 multi-use district. And I think we started looking at that because there was a change a couple years ago when it went from half an acre to a 2 acre minimum lot area,
Mhm.
which created several, I think 8 non-conforming parcels along Mill Street.
Mhm.
And so the change is to go back to what it was before, because I don't think that was entirely clear how that ended up being the way that it is today. So it's kind of reverting back to about a year and a half ago, what I believe the regulation was at that time. That's a text amendment to the D1 district. There's also a text amendment to add short-term rental as a definition, and that has not been in the zoning ordinance.
Mhm.
Which was called transient before,
Mhm.
but now it's broken down.
Okay,
And then also adding hotel motel and campground RV as definitions. So these.
Basically taking everything that was under transient and giving it its own definition.
Yeah.
Instead of lumping them all together, since they all are treated differently.
right.
Good way to
Will,
look at that.
will you vote on these changes at the March 11th meeting? where the
Yeah, so
public
what we
hearing
have to do for the public hearing is when you wanna change zoning,
Listen
for the
to
reasoning,
everybody.
is you have to listen to, and then we make a recommendation, either as is or with amendments, or table it, or reject it. And then assuming we recommend it, which is what I would expect, because we've been working on it for several
Right.
months. It will come to council
Right,
to
got
vote
it.
and approve,
Okay,
here. Because the public hearing by law has to happen at the planning commission,
right,
so,
So you're gonna be here?
right, I believe
March,
so.
yep, March
Yeah.
11th, 6 p.m. It's the regular planning commission meeting here in Village Hall.
You're gonna have enough room, you think, or?
We'll see.
If people figure out what it is, it's not that controversial.
No,
Well,
I-
especially
I-
because the parcels that are affected have been very involved.
Yeah,
Right, like-
I don't
Yeah,
think
Yeah.
we're gonna have line out the door for this one.
right,
Anything else for planning commission?
I don't think so.
thank you. Laura.
Yeah,
Both of
And
you.
Jared,
Infrastructure,
infrastructure, I think staff can give you an update too. The only other thing I wanna mention is that I think, just from my perspective, and I've talked to Jared a little bit about this, that we might wanna look at the fee schedule for emergency water shutoffs. Because right now it's a flat fee, and I think, most of the times when it is an emergency shut off, it probably is not covering all of our staff costs. And auxiliary things that may have to be done, and I don't know when we are looking at the fee schedule again, but I just wanna
How much is
suggest.
this fee?
It's 150, but like there was an emergency shut off and I think it seems that the time was more than that.
Yeah.
When that
What should
happened,
it
just,
be?
I wonder if we can have a flat fee, but then say and time and additional materials or something. So like if it happens in the winter and they have to snowplow too, and if it happens in the winter and it takes much longer because of that, just like their actual time being recouped. And I don't know if there's a way that we can put that in so that it's a set fee and then plus any additional time. I don't know. But the fee schedule is supposed to cover our costs, and I don't know that it is.
There are several fees that I would like to look at, including for short-term rentals. I've teased the, looking at the water rates again.
Right.
And we got a proposal from Don Lund, look at that again. So I'd like to schedule that for study session, look at that, and then I think, look at the fee schedule with from a few different angles. So there's not just that. But
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's other things too. I just wanted to bring it up because of the emergency shutoffs that happen in the winter when there's issues, and just thinking about it now so that when it comes up again, we can be sure we're looking at that one.
We are talking about several items, infrastructure related. As a way
Yes.
of update, we're
Yes.
kind of doing that with the action this meeting. Those are the main projects we're working on right now. Rose Street, obviously, the culvert, the water leak on Naganaba, the water line replacement over on Warren Street. Those are the
And the
three.
drinking fountain.
The drinking
they come-
fountain too.
Yeah.
That's coming. So those are 3-4 of the primary projects that we have in the pipeline right now for this year.
I mean, if you have questions on those, I think they're gonna come up in the discussion probably, so, because they're on there.
And the CIP is gonna be coming here to the village council pretty soon too, once the planning commission finishes that. That'll be a really good discussion for us to all look at that and then talk about it as part of the budget.
I think it's coming really great. It's like, it's good.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, under the marina liaison. Number one, the harbor master report is getting put into the Dropbox until this afternoon, but we're gonna be discussing or voting on one of the things tonight. That's about all there. The Tula, is there anything with Chris gone, is there any?
Meeting next week, next Tuesday,
Yep.
24th. Looking at a couple different things. Still don't have the capacity study fully wrapped up, but I think that's probably reasonable to
April.
expect April.
Okay, good.
We're gonna be adopting our budget.
Okay, let's get on to new business then. Number one is the amendment to ordinance 94, it's what we discussed in January. Has everybody had a chance to look at it? If so, can I get a motion?
To adopt ordinance 94 is presented.
Second.
Is voice okay, or do I need a roll call?
I think voice is fine.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Rules of procedure.
I move we approve the amended rules of procedure as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we come to the village attorney request for proposal.
I move we direct the village manager to negotiate a service agreement with CMDA.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? And there's multiple.
I think we have discussed our unhappiness with our current council, so I think this comes on recommendation of Jared, and so, sure.
My question is, how do we, when I look at the compensation proposed fee structures, we have per hour and then we have a monthly retaining. What have we done in the past? And we have,
Most recently with Olson Howard, it's just an hourly.
oh, okay, that seems to make the most sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't need 30
No.
hours per month.
Well, and there's multiple fee structures that are presented here, and I assume that that would just be part of us discussing and coming to whatever arrangement works best for the village when we have the agreement in place.
Right,
So, you know, if you have some specific direction, some preference on exactly how you would like to structure that, let me know, and that's something that we can talk about.
well, is it possible to sort of structure it month by month, you know, if something big comes up and we know we're gonna have a lot of hours? I don't know, I assume it's cheaper to do a monthly retainer, or,
And I, you know, Hyder is here from the
Yes.
CMPA, if
Feel
you'd
free
like
to-
to.
Sure, so the monthly retainer amount that's quoted in there for 30 hours, that is quoted at a lower rate of $225.
right, okay,
And then that's for up to 30 hours per month. If for any given reason the village exceeds those 30 hours, then any additional hour would be billed at $250.
okay,
If you have leftover, then obviously we'll roll it over into the following month, whatever that leftover amount is.
Oh, it'll roll?
That was my question, yeah.
Yeah, we can roll it over.
Oh. That's.
The only thing it would be then we would just invoice you for the balance of that monthly retainer. So, and then we proposed a different retainer agreement because I don't know how much prosecution work there is. So we did, for some of our municipal clients, all their ordinances are misdemeanors, for example, so that's a lot, that is a lot of work sometimes and they have ordinances that address DWIs and a lot of police power ordinances. So we do have a separate retainer for prosecution, just for prosecution work. It's also at $225 an hour, but it is a separate retainer, and that retainer will only be used for prosecution.
I understand.
We don't really have any of that.
Okay, and
I mean,
yeah,
so far.
I would like to, in some limited instances possibly, though, when it comes to code enforcement and the unsafe building ordinance, I've had that come up already at least once since I've.
Isn't that civil?
No, it needs to go through district court.
That can still be civil.
Right, I mean, like, we need to prosecute it criminally through district court.
so I don't know so if it's a municipal civil infraction
Yeah,
citation,
it's
okay?
not criminal.
That is a civil infraction citation. It
Right.
goes through the formal hearing process. So it still goes through the district court. It's a little different than an ordinance that provides a penalty of a misdemeanor, which is treated as a criminal.
I don't even know if we have any of those. In our ordinance,
All of our.
we're supposed to be, where are we on getting our ordinance? Joni's shaking her head, yes.
Yeah, we just made our final payment to Civic Plus, so after the review.
For the
of the
codification, is that where you're going with that?
Yes, that's where he's going.
How did you read his mind?
I knew
Because I knew what he was saying.
I knew that's what he was gonna do.
I thought that was perfectly clear. On ordinance list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you should see what we had. It was like Xeroxes from the 60s.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't even read them.
it would be surprising.
Yes, it is.
It was a problem. Well, we're getting up to date. We had it all computerized.
Okay.
Wasn't cheap.
I think one of the selling points I have preferred was your, in there where your responses will be prompt. That's one thing we haven't been used to in a while, so.
Yes, so the standard is if it's a full return of phone call or a return of an email, it's 24 hours. And that's just a return. So it's not like we will be giving you an opinion, but if any of you send us an email or leave us a voicemail, we'll return that email or return that phone call back. Okay, we have received this email. Let's just talk about it, or okay, and here's you have given us the issue, email received, this is the timeline that we have to give you a legal opinion or complete the project. So, and then typically our standard time to complete the project is 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we get that project done. If it's a more extensive project, like sometimes if it's writing an ordinance, those take a little bit longer time depending upon the nature of the ordinance. But then we'll work with the village manager, on setting up the parameters for what that timeline would be.
I'd say with us, it's mostly contracts.
Okay, yeah.
And, us creating contracts for, people or us having contract disputes has been 80% of it, and then we've got some property stuff. But I don't know, this sounds good.
I want to compliment you on the diversity of your staff.
Okay,
I counted 33 attorneys and about a third or more look to be other than white men.
Oh my God.
So I was happy to see that in a time when that's
well,
being
thank you.
less emphasized.
There's also, just to make you aware, we do have some weird rules of procedure, and I don't know how they've been modified a few times about how trustees are when they're allowed to contact the village attorney directly, and I think it's not supposed to happen, but most correspondence is supposed to be copied back to us, so we get CC'd on emails, and they need to be marked privileged if they are, and then we're supposed to not talk about it then. Yeah, I gotta review that because it changed. What happened, and just brief history, I think it was during the whole sewer debacle that the council during that, this is like 2006, the individual council members were calling and emailing the village attorney so much that he was spending so much time replying to individual council members' questions that the legal bills are astronomical. And so they passed a rule saying, whoa, this has to go through either the village, it was, I don't remember, but it got limited in that way. And it was just to keep, legal fees down.
So that would be something that Jared and I would discuss because, and if there are established rules on that, then obviously we are going to follow those rules and then we would request a copy of that so that we have it as part of our file as to how to contact and how to respond. Typically, with our municipal clients, we have one point of contact. And that is typically, if it's a village, it's a village manager.
Yeah.
If there's no village manager, it's the village president, county administrator, township supervisor, township manager. Obviously, elected members can contact us, but we prefer that they go through that one point of contact for exactly the same reason. So we can keep those legal bills in check.
I don't even know why I brought
But that would be something that Jared and I, when we are talking about it, we can discuss that and put that in our plan as to how the village would like us to contact and who to CC and copy on correspondence.
Yeah, it's in the rules of procedure, which we just amended. Inquiries to the village attorney must be approved by a vote of the village council unless they are of an urgent nature determined by the president.
That's a little too strict. When did we change that?
That's
Just enough.
That's been that way. No, that
Yeah,
is
that's
not
been
part of
that.
the changes. This
Yeah.
has been
Alright.
there presumably since,
Yeah.
well, let's see, there's a footnote here. It looks like it was September 2018. Restated and adopted March 2025. Last March, it could have been restated. But that's something that we would really.
Yeah,
I mean,
This isn't about
Clearly-
casual questions. Casual questions, as it said, the president, Chris McCann.
Okay.
But sort of big questions like, which ones.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get in weeds here. All right. I'm good.
Okay, let's go on to the,
Was there a vote?
Yeah, we got to vote.
all in favor?
Well, we need a.
Roll call. Will,
Sorry. This is to hire the new village attorney. Yes, I
Laura,
will vote yes.
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Edwin,
Yes.
yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I am happy to stay here if you'd like me to stay here.
It's gonna get pretty boring.
Oh.
People always feel like they're being rude by leaving, but.
Okay,
I
whatever.
recommend otherwise.
All right. Well, very nice meeting all of you and looking forward
We'll
to
be in
speaking
touch.
with you. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You have a good night. Engineering services for the North Street culvert.
Move that we approve the agreement for professional services and mention engineering at a cost not to exceed $17,900 with funds available in the major streets and waters fund.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call.
So this one's for Rose Street.
Yes,
The other one we're gonna do next.
correct.
Okay.
Edwin,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Will,
Yes.
and yes. Okay, the second one is for the Warren Street water main replacement.
You have plans for that one.
Where is that? There it is.
It's in a separate document.
70.
Yes, yep. I emailed it to you the other day. So 19,800, yeah. That includes discovery services, which is them reviewing all of our existing plans and what's actually in the ground.
Yeah, I have it, just didn't have a motion. So.
Design services, we now, as I've said a couple times recently, Eagle now requires permits for this kind of water line replacement. That's not something that historically has always been the case, but with that permit, they require engineer drawings. So that's the design services. They'll also help with the permit and do construction administration under this scope.
So I move that we approve the agreement for professional services for the Warren Street Water Main Replacement Project. And mention engineering at a cost not to exceed $19,800 with funds available in the major street and water funds.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Laura, second by Susan. Will,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Edwin,
Yes.
yes. Okay, the Cal excavating for the kind of a water leak across the street from here.
Somebody wanna
I guess I move we approve the contract,
fix the leak?
proposed contract.
It's right,
It's right here.
it's right here. To approve the Cal excavating estimate as presented with funds available in the water fund.
Second.
Can I ask a question about this?
Yeah.
Did we bid
Have
this, or
discussion.
is this too small to bid, or we just go with Cal
It's very
because
small.
there are?
Did we bid this or did we?
We did not
choose
bid
small?
it. It is a small project and I just feel like they're the best situated to do this kind of work.
Okay,
I would not expect much interest from other companies.
because it's so
Particularly because
small.
DPW wants to assist. Like, I
Yes,
mean,
that too.
that's.
Okay, and we've
Like, they're
worked with
planning to
Cal,
be involved.
we've worked with Cal for decades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, it's gonna save us far more than it's gonna cost us. We've been losing an unknown amount of water from that leak for decades, so
Yeah.
you can tell by the tree. The tree's gonna be really upset. But yeah,
Yeah, the tree won't get to stay.
it's gonna save us around $7,000 worth of water
mhm.
very quickly.
we're gonna have to remove the tree.
That's what I figured.
I really,
She's got
I really was hugging that tree. I wanted to save it, but.
I
He
will,
did
I'll say
want to
goodbye
say
to it
goodbye.
tomorrow.
And Bob's gonna be replacing it. Bob Newell.
And which tree is this?
It's the one right in front of.
Faro.
Faro's gate. If you look, it's like
Side
3
to
times
side.
as big as the rest of the trees.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Did you
Didn't
second
know
that?
waters.
I'm sorry. Who
I
seconded? You
seconded
seconded
it.
the motion?
Yes.
I gave it. and-
Laura,
Yeah.
Will,
Okay.
call the question. Edwin,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes,
Laura,
Yes,
Will,
Yes.
yes. Okay, Marina dock lift work estimate.
to approve the estimate from 45th Parallel Marine as presented at a cost not to exceed $23,486 with the funds available in the Marina Fund.
Second.
Okay, we have. Estimate.
Why aren't we just doing the whole thing?
Because the single dock pile option that they included
Yeah,
is $5,000 per dock. From what the feedback that I've heard, and Chris and Bill, if we want to follow up with them, I can get more information. I don't know if I think Chris was on the call. But
Yeah, Chris is there.
we don't know for sure that we can go out there and say, let's do these 5 as opposed to these 5. And to do even 5, that's an additional 25,000. That those numbers start to climb really quickly. So I'm just a bit reluctant to tell you, please go ahead and spend 105,000 on that.
I just think the more we spend, the higher the chances that the lake will go back up and it'll.
Yeah.
Right.
The water anyway, so
As soon as you
I'm in
lower 'em-
favor of spending as much as possible. No, I'm fine. We can vote.
That's my question. Once we lower these docks, then what if the lake goes back up? Do you then have to pay to raise them back up?
Yes.
Or is no one thinking the lake will go back up?
Well, eventually.
Yeah,
Impossible to know.
fortunes could be made if anybody could predict the lake levels of Lake
What
Michigan.
happens in 3 years or 4 years if the lake goes back up?
We will have to pay it again.
This is something that, as I
It's not
understand
a
it,
ton.
the village, the DPW has a capability to do this, but it takes us away from doing many other things
Right.
that I would like them to be doing, and it's a very time-consuming,
Okay,
labor-intensive effort for
That's
them.
what's happened in the past.
Yeah,
Okay, what-
Jerry Spears has been involved with doing some of these, I think. We know kind of where that's, what's happened with that. So that's why we said, let's go to a third party. Let's get a contractor in here who specializes in this to do it.
okay. So have we been lowering and raising docks over the last 10, 15 years?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
for
I
better
would-
or worse.
It's Chris.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Chris,
The docks, the current position of the docks, we raised in 2018, I believe it was, 17, with Balcom Marine. And so, again, to address the different quotes on that invoice is that the single pile docks, the reason the price is so high is because it had to be completely removed, and then the single pile beneath the docks cut a sleeve, so to speak, would go over them to make them adjustable. So it's very involved. The other docks along A, mostly B, all of D dock are what's called a 2-pile system, and they're able to be lowered or raised. And been involved with that numerous times. So I think going with the contractor, as Jared said, would be money well spent. Get them in, get it done, and move on. So as far as the lake levels go, the predictions is Will said. It's a good guess, but for the foreseeable future, the Corps is we're looking at levels going down, continue down. So that's all.
And just to notice, as soon as we raised them last time, the lake went down. I mean, literally within weeks. So this could have a good effect overall.
We've been here before, so
Thank you, Chris.
okay. Thank you.
So I think we need a vote.
Yep. Will,
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, for the 23,000, yes, my vote is yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Edwin?
Yes.
Yes. Onward to discussion items. Jared, do you want to fill us in on this one a little bit?
Sure. The New Bohemian Cafe owners, Kevin and Amy, approached me about this 3-foot easement that's on the south side of their property, immediately next to the village parking lot. And this easement has been running with the land prior to Bill Collins taking possession of that property, and then his donation was to the village. So this easement has been running with that, and it's currently part of what Nuvo uses as their outdoor seating area. They approached me about taking, somehow getting this 3 feet so that they could make plans for future use and development. So to me, I think the most expedient way to handle that would to be adjust the boundary of their parcel and just donate that convey that 3 feet to them for some nominal amount. I see Will maybe has I don't know some different take on it, but
No.
anyway, okay, that's so that's how they've come to me, discussed it. Makes sense. I don't know what else the village is going to do with 3 feet of that property. But it would need to go through the land division committee as a boundary adjustment. And I wanted to bring it for discussion, see if there's support, if there's any opposition, questions, you have any alternative suggestions.
I have,
Go ahead.
thank you. Sorry, I did have my hand up. But I mean, this is obviously common sense and we should do it. However, I kind of want to run it by our new attorney sort of, because I want to make sure this doesn't, I mean, there's a lot of people that would like a 4 foot or several foot donation of land from the village for their current uses. We're, possibly going to get into some litigation down on Second Street. We've had this ongoing thing that is still not over with the 4 foot strip on Park Street. I feel like we've got to tread very carefully. Like if we start giving land to some people and not others, is that going to get us in legal hot water? I mean, and obviously they're going to people will point fingers and say, well, you gave it to them, you have to give it to us. And so I know each case is different, especially when you're talking about real property. But I just think the backlash on this is going to be, it's going to exist. It may be from just a couple people, but it gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. And I just think we need to tread carefully. Maybe ask the attorney.
Well, yes, I agree. It's worth review. This is a little different.
Oh, I know. They're all
Compared to
different.
some of they're all different, right? It's already encumbered with the easement,
Yeah,
so it's not the same as some of the other, village-owned properties. And
I think that's
What
true, but
they
it depends
were.
on who you ask. Some people would think that the others, I mean, I think that's your point, is that depending on whose perspective it is that you're coming from.
I think there's a clear distinction, and as we all, I think, agree that the village has never used this easement for anything. Well, maybe decades ago, I don't know. But I agree with everybody else that I think,
Well, it wouldn't have been decades ago, because it's the one Bill Collins purchased and donated, and that wasn't very long ago.
when
Right.
no, but apparently that easement was
The
already
easement
there.
was already there,
Yeah.
correct?
he purchased it with the easement.
Yeah,
easement, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's common sense also to do it, but
I think
he
both
could have
ways.
easily done, wish he had just done it at the time. Just reboundaried it then, and so that we didn't have to, because when you get to a municipality involved, it doesn't, the optics aren't as good.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, do we need some kind of legal opinion now, or do we wait until?
Do we want to spend money on a legal
Challenges.
opinion, at all, or just I don't know. I kind of defer to Jared. You've got a lot more experience with property law based on your
Yeah.
planning experience. You know a lot more about this than I do.
I don't have concerns in terms of this being some kind of future precedent.
Okay, then let's just.
I don't, that would not be my concern with it. It'd be more, like you described about the backlash, a perception of favoritism, that kind of thing. Saying, well, we're doing a special deal for one owner as opposed to some other owner. Why would you pick winners and losers?
But
My response would be, like I just said, this is a very small.
I think,
piece of-
yeah,
I don't know what else would you do?
we can
with
make it
this?
very clear in the minutes that this was discussed as a one-off, as this is a unique situation that pertains to no other situation and has no bearing or precedence on anything else the village will do with village property in the future. Then I would approve it tonight.
I would.
It's gotta go to the land bank, when it doesn't.
Land Division Committee.
Yeah.
But I would also suggest saying, you're looking to do something that's in the best interest of one of the businesses that's a part. And
Yeah.
well, I would say that there's a good public policy rationale for doing that
Yeah,
when you have the
yeah,
capability of doing that.
actually, yes, better than the other ones.
And
Yes.
not diminish
I agree.
anything that's in the public interest.
Right.
And
There's
you make
no
a very
public
good point.
utility there, there's no public use of the property.
Right.
So if you can provide a benefit to your businesses in the downtown area, I would think you would consider that for any business. I would like to think so. I don't know how you all feel about that, but that, I feel like that's a good public policy role for the village.
Well, are we already paying for like the retainer? So we have like 30 hours of like, attorney time that we could use for
We haven't
this.
signed anything yet.
Well, in the future.
I'd go either way. I see this as a unique situation. I just wanted to get it on the recorded record. And in the minutes that this is a one-off. Has no bearing on anything else this council is gonna do in the future regarding any other real property. I think we could vote on it tonight. It's a slam dunk. I mean, this is obviously in the best interest of the village. And
I
the
think
property
that-
has no value to anyone else. I mean, zero. So,
I still think, I mean, is there some urgency? I mean, why can't we could just follow the normal policy?
Okay,
with
that's fine.
discussion item
Sure.
and then an
Yeah,
action.
you're right.
Because then nobody can argue about
I
that.
think
Yeah, time is
we
not-
got a general consensus about doing this, and then we'll vote on it in March.
cool, I won't be here.
I can bring a resolution back to say, have this go through the land division committee. As the village council say, we're initiating this as the applicant for the land division committee. Because it needs a boundary adjustment.
Sure.
And then that would set the wheels in motion for a couple other things to happen with a deed and with a title search. I would like to do a title search before finalizing anything with it, just to make sure there's no other issues with that strip.
Properties downtown are a puzzle.
Yeah. That's why I'm worried, who knows what happened 8 years ago with that thing.
All right, so we have a consensus I'm asking the president, pro tem. We give a consensus for him to move forward
I
for
think
March.
we do, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right, good enough.
Okay, that brings us to our second public comment. 5 minutes. Anybody have any comments? John Weber again, looks like.
Hi, John Weber, South Shore Drive. Couple points. Will messaged me privately, said that the recycling facility is on township property. So kind of disregard my comments from earlier. That's not something for you guys to take on. I appreciate that clarification, Will. Second item is I'm disappointed that the infrastructure couldn't address the dam issue. The community deserves an update. I wasn't asking for any kind of discussion. I just wanted to know what the status was on it, and there was absolutely no comment. It was completely ignored. That's disappointing at the least. I will be at the next infrastructure meeting, and I will be prepared with a number of questions there. And my last comment is what you were just discussing. I don't see why you guys are intent on giving away our property, the village property. If there's any need for a business to use that, can it be leased out to them? What happens if Nubo folds or decides to move locations? All of a sudden, you've given our property away for something that doesn't apply anymore. We can retain ownership, get whatever protections we need in place, and they can use it. And then you're done with it. Stop trying to backdoor things and say it's a slam dunk and let's vote on it right now before the village community has a say in it. That's absurd. Just because one opinion is on one side doesn't mean that is absolute. There are other options, other ways to address this issue. And I know it's trivial, but stop being silly on this. That's it. I'll leave it there.
Thank you, John. Anybody else? Seeing none, any council comment? Will,
I'll just respond to that. My only, and I have no reason to know this, so I think John's right, and as we decided to slow our roll on and not vote tonight, and that's fine. I think that's a better decision than what I suggested. The only reason I brought it up was because I have no information on this, but in my head I was like, they want this because they want to do something. They want to build a permanent structure or some kind of and they're gonna need, it's February, they're gonna need to get the land transferred, then they're gonna need to get a site plan, then they're gonna need to get a lot of stuff. And I didn't want this council to be holding up that process. But I don't even know if there is a process or if they're planning on doing that this summer, next summer, or ever. So I was thinking of something that may not at all be relevant. So I appreciate Mr. Weber's comment, and I think the council acted prudently in waiting to vote.
any other comments?
Hugh and the others, my only other comment would be that I just want the record to reflect that I would have voted yay on everything in uniformity with the other trustees today.
Thanks, Joe. Well,
Okay, so I had a question for Jared that I should have I just wanted to say, is there an update on the drawings for High Street and 7th Street, just so that the public is aware of what's happening, because it wasn't on the agenda. I know that it's happening, and I just want people to think that it didn't drop off, like it's still happening, it's still being worked on. I don't know if there's more.
Thank you for asking. I there's a lot swirling around. I don't get to it.
I forgot to pull out the ZA reports anyway.
No, I don't think I had it in there.
Okay.
I actually just talked to Nate today. It took him. He had a very accelerated pace when we first communicated about it. I was like, no, this isn't. We're not going to get it done that quickly. But he had some initial concept plans that he sent to me for feedback, so we can refine them. In anticipation of the March 5th study session, 2 weeks from today, and my plan is to have his initial concept plans here at the council so that the public is, of course, welcome to be a part of that. And you all can take a look at those for both properties and give some feedback before he finalizes any of the renderings. Because there's a lot of time involved in taking the two-dimensional concept plan and turning it into a 3D rendering. That's where there's a lot of the work is involved. So before you get to that, let's talk about what the layout looks like, what aspects of it you want to focus in on. Are these the concepts that you think are what you're looking for? All that kind of discussion we can do that on March 5th, I think. But we need to do a couple things to get ready for that. I talked to him today. I think we'll be ready on March 5th.
Great. And then the other thing I just wanted to address there, we don't have committee meetings anymore other than the budget committee. And so that's why we have the work session and the regular meeting.
You should direct this to the member of the public.
For the public that was asking. So there isn't going to be an infrastructure meeting. The dam work that is being done is not a large amount of work. This is a permit so that we can draw down and back up when necessary due to weather or small repairs. It's something that has been in the works for several years now, but there were so many requests from Eagle that it took that time. But it is not anything big that is happening. It's the future discussion on the dam is something that will eventually be happening here at council, not at infrastructure, because there is not separate infrastructure meetings now.
So no big money is being spent on the dam without the approval of the council.
One way or the other, right?
But
There's not either. Yeah,
right.
This was something that is so that they can do regular checks and maintenance when necessary, or when there are very heavy rain events or things like that. And it just took a very, very long time to be able to get this. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was filed maybe with Chet I mean, it was a long time ago.
Well, the permit itself has taken 13 months just for that, but there was a lot of lead up
Yes,
of work being done up to the submittal of the permit application. So yes, it's years long.
but this permit isn't because we're replacing or removing or doing any of those steps. This is a basic maintenance drawdown permit.
Yeah, I think anybody who's expecting a major vote on the mill pond or the dam in the next several years is gonna be just, I don't think we're having that.
I would be disappointed if we can't.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But I don't see that on the horizon, and believe me, when it does happen, everyone will know.
Well,
We will need a bigger building.
well, there's been talk about needing to dredge. There's been talk about needing to dredge, and dredging is going to be very expensive.
Maybe
If that were to happen, it would have to be budgeted though, so I mean, that would be something that would have to be a discussion.
Right.
Before the new
Right.
budget in July, if that were even going to happen
I
in the
think
next year. say.
it will be, yeah, I mean, that might be a good way to get it on the agenda is
Yeah.
in the budget hearing. And that's maybe when we have a discussion about it. You know, I don't know about a major vote, but maybe, may happen. I don't make these things. All right, I'll move to adjourn if everybody's done.
Does anybody have any other comment?
John Weber, real quickly. And this isn't a rebuttal or anything, it's just a clarification, the
John,
village
probably pass it
website.
over.
I know, the calendar shows infrastructure meetings on it. So I'm just asking that you guys update the website, the calendar, so it doesn't reflect the infrastructure meeting.
Okay,
That's all I'm
thank you, John.
saying. Thank you.
I didn't think it did.
I didn't either.
Hearing no other comments,
Yeah,
can I get a motion?
move to adjourn. Motion. All right.
7:56.
Nice job, Hugh.
Turned out to be a long meeting.
Is there somehow,
Easy to
maybe it's still on the.
We're going under an hour long now. Do you remember the 2.5, 3